The United Arab Emirates and France have signed an $18 billion arms deal that will see the Gulf state acquire 80 Rafale fighter jets and 12 military helicopters. The largest ever overseas sale of Rafale jets was sealed as French President Emmanuel Macron made a two-day trip to the Gulf, during which he also visited Qatar and Saudi Arabia. The France-United Arab Emirates order is worth $18 billion. It represents the biggest bulk purchase of the aircraft since it entered service in 2004. In the run-up to the announcement, it had been expected that the order would run to between 30 and 60 of the planes. Macron's visit comes at a time when Gulf Arab states have voiced uncertainty about the United States' focus on the region even as they seek more weapons from their key security ally. The French leader has forged a good relationship with the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince with investments flowing between the two countries. The deal will directly support 7,000 jobs in France, and guarantee the supply chain of the Dassault aviation-made aircraft until the end of 2031. The French presidency said in a statement that this contract cements a strategic partnership that is stronger than ever and directly contributes to regional stability. Macron said this contract, which followed deals in Greece, Egypt, and Croatia this year, would lead to an increase in the monthly Rafale production. Shares in Dassault Aviation, the Rafale's maker, rose more than 9%. The F4 model Rafales, currently under development, will be delivered from 2027. By snapping up the fighter craft, the United Arab Emirates is following the lead of Gulf rival Qatar, which has bought 36 of the planes. The on-off negotiations for the Rafale fighter jets took more than 10 years, with the United Arab Emirates publicly rebuffing France's offer to supply 60 Rafale jets in 2011 as uncompetitive and unworkable. Additionally, Abu Dhabi already has French-built Mirage 2000 warplanes. Defense sources said the Rafale would replace the Mirage 2000 fleet, but is unlikely to displace the American-built F-35, as the UAE continues to hedge its security with two main suppliers, France and the United States. The deal could nonetheless be seen as a signal of impatience, as the U.S. Congress hesitates on approving an F-35 deal amid concerns about the United Arab Emirates' relationship with China, including the prevalence of Huawei 5G technology in the country. The Emirates also ordered 12 Caracal helicopters. It is the French code name for the H-225M, the multi-role military version of the Super Puma. France has deep ties with the United Arab Emirates and is one of its main arms suppliers, but it has faced increasing pressure to review its sales because of the conflict between a Saudi-led military coalition and the Iran-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen, which has become one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. On the other side, Egypt has signed a contract with France to buy 30 Rafale fighter jets in a deal worth $4.5 billion in May 2021. Egypt's defense ministry said the deal would be financed through a loan to be repaid over at least 10 years, but did not give details about the value of the deal or any other information. The Egyptian accord also covers contracts for missile manufacturer MBDA and equipment provider Safran Electronics, which are worth another $241 million. France was the main weapons supplier to Egypt between 2013-2017, including the sale of 24 warplanes with an option for 12 more. Those contracts dried up, including deals that had been at an advanced stage for more Rafale jets and warships. Diplomats said that was as much to do with financing issues over fears about Cairo's long-term ability to repay state-backed guaranteed loans, rather than any concerns Paris had with the human rights situation in Egypt. Bénédicte Jeanrod, the Human Rights Watch director for France, condemned the deal outright. She said, by signing a mega arms contract with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's government while the latter presides over the worst repression in decades in Egypt, the eradication of the human rights community in the country, and undertakes extremely serious violations under the pretext of the fight against terrorism, France is only encouraging this ruthless repression. Financing for the deal would be up to 85% guaranteed by the French state, with BNP Paribas, Crédit Agricole, and Société Générale, which funded the original deal, signing up again. Concerned by the political vacuum in Libya, instability across the region, and the threat from armed groups in Egypt, both countries have cultivated closer economic and military ties since el-Sisi's rise to power. Greece is another buyer of the French jets. Greek lawmakers in January approved the purchase of 18 Rafale jets from France for $3.4 billion. In July 2021, the country took delivery of the first of 18 French Rafale fighter jets, part of a major military procurement plan as the country seeks to upgrade its armed forces. Defense Minister Nikolaos Panagiotopoulos attended the delivery ceremony in France, describing it as a milestone day for the Greek Air Force. The purchase was part of a modernization program for Greece's military and came during a period of mostly rocky relations with neighboring Turkey. The two NATO allies are at loggerheads over a series of disputes, including over boundaries in the Aegean Sea and the Eastern Mediterranean, and have come to the brink of war 3 times since the mid-1970s. Furthermore, in September 2021, France confirmed that Greece had agreed to buy 6 more of its Rafale jets, bringing to 24 the number of French fighters sold to Athens for billions of dollars. French Defense Minister Florence Parly tweeted that, "Excellent news, Greece has just announced its intention to acquire 6 additional Rafales. Together, we are working to build true European autonomy." Similarly, Croatia has agreed to buy a batch of used fighter jets from France, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković said, in a deal worth $1.2 billion. The 12 Rafale planes will replace Croatia's Russian-made MiGs in the country's biggest arms purchase since its 1990s War of Independence from Yugoslavia. The country selected France's package over bids from Israel, Sweden, and the United States, and expects to get the first 6 planes by 2024. Critics had suggested the government should be focusing its efforts on helping the pandemic-hit economy to recover rather than spending on weaponry. But Defense Minister Mario Banazic told local media, the decision to buy the jets was not about giving the military new toys. Croatia spends slightly less than $1 billion each year on defense, according to NATO figures, falling just short of the alliance's recommendation that members spend 2% of GDP. On the other side, in 2019, Qatar took delivery of the first of 36 Rafale multi-purpose fighter jets it ordered from French manufacturer Dassault. Qatar ordered 24 of the fighters in 2015, adding 12 more. It also has an option to buy 36 more. Qatar has upped its defense spending after being diplomatically isolated by its Gulf neighbors. Starting from June 2017, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt imposed a boycott on Qatar, accusing it of backing terrorism and being too close to Iran. Qatar denied the allegations and has accused the Saudi-led bloc of aiming to incite regime change in Doha. Consequently, France is increasing its influence in the Middle East and the Eastern Mediterranean region by selling fighter jets and other kinds of weapons. Shortly, new countries might plan to buy French jets and weapons. This situation would challenge other weapons sellers in the region. This is time to share your opinion. Could France be the biggest arms dealer in the Middle East in the near future?